one. You are live.
I'd like to call to order the July 1st committee meeting of the Harris County Board of Education. That will take us to item B, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the July 1st, 2025 monthly committee meeting agenda as presented. Do I have a motion? Mr. Johnston, second. Mr. Goodnow, any discussion? All in favor? And that will take us to item C, where the Harris County Board of Education will be excused to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent, to review an appeal from a student disciplinary tribunal, to consider a matter involving the disclosure of personally identifiable information from a student's educational record, to consult and meet with legal counsel pertaining to pending or potential litigation, settlement, claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought or against the school district or an officer or employee in which the officer or employee may be directly involved, and to discuss cybersecurity plans or contracts for services. Records related are exempt from Open Records Act, OCGA 50-14-3 and 50-18-72. Do I have a motion? Mr. Proctor, second. It's Oliver. Any discussion? All in favor? We will be adjourned to executive session. All right, at this time, I will entertain a motion that we exit executive session. Mr. Goodnow, second. Mr. Johnson, any question or any discussion? All in favor? All right, so that will take us to item E on our agenda. This is the public participation portion of our meeting. Dr. Finney, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak this evening?
I have no one that's contacting me to speak and
So that will take us to item F, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached meeting minutes from the board meetings held in June of 2025. Those are in your packets. Those are also emailed to your district email address. So please review those. If you have any amendments or additions, something that was left off, please get with Ms. Ashley so that we can vote to approve those at our regular meeting in 2 weeks. All right, so that will take us to item G in our discussion agenda, and item G1, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to a curriculum update from Dr. Denny. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So just a couple of quick updates for curriculum. The big thing we know, talking about the literacy law update. So I believe it was yesterday, Dr. Finney had a couple of sign-offs he had to do for us. We had already signed off, or I believe we'd already signed off on the high quality instructional materials. You've heard us talk about that we've adopted from K to 8, the SAVIS materials. So we will sign off on that as our high quality instruction material for the next 6 years. Dr. Finney also signed off on the characteristics of dyslexia numbers so that we have to report to the state now every year, essentially how many students were screened, how many students met the I'll call our cut score for our screener, which was below the 15th percentile, showing that they are significantly at risk for reading difficulties. We also have to show essentially a rubric that we now have to fill out for every student, not every student, I'm sorry, every student below the 15th who, after the MTSS process of going through tier 2 and tier 3 interventions, how many students are not responding to the structured literacy intervention. So essentially, we're now making sure that we're teaching reading the way we should be, which is what the law is all about. And if they're not responding to these interventions, moving them up the tiers and eventually having them tested for essentially dyslexia. While there is no 100% test out there for dyslexia, screening them for that and determining whether or not they need to be moved into tier 4, which is special education. And then the last thing that Dr. Finney had to sign off on was the professional learning requirements. That is where teachers are required now to have a training course or training in the science of reading, either by attending letters training, Cox campus literacy modules, which rolled out at the beginning of the year, Orton Gillingham training. I keep forgetting. There's a couple of them. The reading endorsement and dyslexia endorsement. And at the time that we submitted, we were at 89.5% of our teachers have met that requirement. We're now up to about 93% as we went through. We found that we were missing some, or some were missing one module, and they have since come in. However, we had to report on the 30th, and we did that. So we're on track to next year, right about at the beginning of the school year, to be, I want to say 98, 99%, which I think is going to be well above the rest of the state. I will say we've also had a couple new teachers that have been hired. Working with the state, they sent us a list. Any teacher you get from these colleges automatically meet the requirements, so we're marking them off too. So we've got a couple of those that have already met the requirements. So we're well on our way to meeting a lot of those mandates that have come down from the state. And then the only other thing I'll say about the high quality instruction materials, just to give you an idea where we're at. So K to 5, we have a little bit different plan from K to 5 than we do 6 to 8. Because 6 to 8, they have 4 teachers per grade level. K to 5 is a little bit more difficult. So our plan in K to 5, we essentially have our ELA committee meeting at least once a month. We met after school was out, I believe it was July 8th. The teachers get together and they are planning essentially the scope and sequence and what we're going to focus on and those things for the district. We will again meet on July 9th with the team. We bring them in, we give them a stipend, we give them lunch to continue that planning. So when teachers get back the first day of school, they're ready to go and will know everything that has to happen. On top of the ELA committee, we're also offering several trainings with the company. So we hosted Savas on June 25th. And their focus for that day was the structure and the routines of the program. So essentially the planning component of the program. We did 2 sessions, one in the morning for K to 2, because that's slightly different than 3 to 5, which we did in the afternoon. We're going to have a repeat session on July 15th, giving them the same opportunity for any teachers that couldn't make it the first time. Then on the 16th, we will have Savas back, and we'll do a session in the morning for K to 2 and a session in the afternoon for 3 to 5, where it's modeling lessons for the teachers. So the first part was about, okay, here's planning the day, the week, the month. The next session, the non-repeat session, is going to be, okay, here's what that instruction looks like. And our teachers are going to be the students, and the Savas reps are going to be the teachers for us modeling lessons. As for 6 to 8, it's real similar, just a little bit different order. Dr. Patterson's worked with the grade levels that wanted to come in, again, 4 to 6 teachers per grade level. They've set aside planning time and have spent 1 day for each grade level so far planning for rolling out the curriculum. They do have training set up with Savas July 22nd using the digital platform, so the online capabilities. And then on July 31st, they're going to learn about the enhanced writing feature that Savas does offer. A little bit of AI integration. We're providing feedback for students and how teachers can use that in their classroom. And that is all I have for updates.
Dr. Dan, can I ask you, I believe I was reading some stuff about with the state re-implementing the bit about, was it creative writing or back to teaching script through the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade? We still teach that. I mean.
Yeah, so we do. We've always taught cursive. I can't say that we've done it in a systematic way daily and in an identical way across the schools. So one of the nice things about adopting the Savas textbook is we have that script. So we're going to be more systematic about it. It actually starts in 2nd grade, but continues 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. But yes, we've done that in the past. We just haven't had what we'll call a canned program to do that. It was more teacher by teacher basis.
Right, because I think they were still trying to decide upon which version of script they wanted to teach.
And the state right now recommends 2, Danilian and Zaner Blaser.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Blaser, I believe it's called. Blaser or Blaser. One of those 2. And they've provided resources too that we can use as part of the curriculum.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Denny? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that will take us to item G2, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to a human resources update from Ms. Carlisle. Good evening.
Good evening. And the update I provided you was dated June 25th. And as you know, it's July and a lot can happen in 6 days. So of those posted positions, there were 12. And I've got the pending down below. 6 of those have moved down below. So really we've got 6 probably out there in the vacancy. So we're moving right along. There are interviews being conducted next week for some of these. So those are moving right along. And as of the 25th, we were at 98.3% fill for certified positions, teachers, counselors, administrators. I've got a feeling we've kind of bumped up to maybe a little higher than that. The goal is always 100, and we did hit 100, but we've backed off a little bit, but we're going to get back. Our department, we've been supporting principals and professional departments in recruiting and helping them get through their applicants so they can do interviews. So that's been a big focus for the last 2 weeks. We're also looking at 25, 26 job descriptions. We do an annual review. Departments, department leaders, as jobs change, realign, evolve, those are updated. So we'll be reaching out to many of those departments here at central office. And I listed a couple of new initiatives that we've taken on. Ms. Munoz coordinates our substitute teachers. She's got 4 dates across the summer for all of our substitute teachers to choose the date to come in to get reoriented. She's developed a substitute teacher handbook to really go through the foundations and basics of safety and what that means to be a substitute in our schools. So far, we've got right at 68, 70 participants that have already signed up. And what we want to do is really have a strong, solid base of substitutes. We don't want to really have a great big list of 120, but yet only a portion of those actually participate. So one thing new we're going into this year is substitutes understand to stay active on our list, because we want to have a true and authentic list. Is you need to substitute at least once a month. And if for some reason you need to take a step back or break away, that's fine. Just let us know. We'll keep you active. But we want to make sure we have an active list, not just a list, to make sure we continue to recruit and we keep people available, because as Dr. Dink, teachers have training, they have absences. So that's something new this year. And over the summer, while everybody's out for summer, we go to school in HR. So Ms. Munoz is working on getting certified in Frontline AppleTrack. That's the program we use for applications. Ginger and I have been really busy deep into the HR networks of SHRM, the American Association of School Personnel Administrators, HRCI, that's my organization. We did a virtual attendance of a GASPA spring conference for updates. And we also, we shared the day. This year we partnered up Human Resources. We presented HR Day for administrators in the summer. So we did the morning, had lunch, and then Ms. Baker and her team followed up in the afternoon for support services. And the principals liked that idea to pick one day to get their trainings in. So that proved to be very successful. And also we have one more event. I don't know if Ashley got you a flyer, if it didn't get in your notebook. But yes, so on the 17th, that's our next meeting before the board meeting. We've kind of built new traditions where we welcome new school leaders, district leaders, head coaches to our county. So we've got about 8 people slated for that event. So we'll be reaching out to them tomorrow, and look forward to just time where you can meet them, get to know them, their family, their guests, and just kind of recognize our new leadership. So that's always a good thing.
Very good. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Carlisle? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That will take us to item G3. Excuse me, the Harris County Board of Education. Listen to a support services update from Ms. Baker. Good evening.
Good evening. So I have a couple of points for you, and I want to start with an overview of our summer feeding. We just concluded summer feeding last week, and you'll see from the numbers I'm going to share with you that we served a lot of people, which we were very, very proud of. So the first chart that you see here is a chart that shows our 7-day meal pickups. This is where people come on Mondays to pick up their 7 days of breakfast and 7 days of lunch meals. So you'll see for the month of June, we served 24,934 meals.
Wow.
That's meal pickups only. The second chart you have is our on-site feeding, which we had on-site feeding at Harris County High School as well as at Park. And those occurred Monday through Thursday for the month of June. And you'll see that we served 1,836 meals for the on-site feeding. So for this summer, we served a total of 26,770 meals to our Harris County community. So we're very, very proud of this.
That is great.
Yes, yes.
And that's all subsidized by, remind us again,
USDA.
USDA.
I don't know, because I think that we're the only county that does the meal pickups. Everyone else has on-site feeding. Yeah. So I'm not sure how their numbers compare, especially with the systems being larger and they're having more sites than what we have, obviously more students as well.
Wow.
But so this is what we have for Harris County. So we are very, very proud of that. So hopefully not very many people missed out and nobody was able to go hungry.
Ms. Baker, did you happen to receive any, communications from Focus? Because I was talking to them about this and, they didn't seem to be aware that we did this for Harris County residents because they were wanting to let, they do their food bank program. They were wanting to let some of their people know, since they just service Harris County residents too about. I had told Mrs. Carlisle to maybe talk with you to get more information and stuff if you need it, but I said, we do have this program.
I haven't talked to her recently, but in years past, she's known that we've done this.
I don't know, maybe they just didn't remember.
Yeah, because it hasn't.
Put them,
it's not-
they
it's not
forget it,
done
they do it every summer.
Yeah, this has been ongoing for years. I mean, this is going to my 7th year. We've done it every year, so, yeah.
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 Well, I'm glad. I appreciate it. I know your team does a great job and it helps a lot of people, especially during the summertime. And I know it's appreciative. I appreciate, I'm sure this other.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Johnson and the school nutrition team really do a great job, and I'm very, very proud of their efforts. And speaking of that, the last chart that you have on this page is just information we want to share with you to show you how our meal serving has increased. So I'm not going to go through all these numbers with you because you can see those for yourself. But between last year, which is 2024 school year, and the 2025 school year, which is this school year, we have seen almost an 8% increase for serving during breakfast hours. And we've seen an almost 3% increase for lunch. And you see the numbers, how significant they are with, especially with lunch. You're up into the 400, almost 480,000 meal numbers. So that is really good too. That means more students are eating, which is what we want, because again, we don't want anyone to go hungry. Okay, you're welcome. And keeping in context with school nutrition, today, our window open for our meal applications. There are several ways that parents can complete those applications. They can complete online by going to the Easy Meal. They can download the form from the district's website. And of course, they can pick up paper copies at their school, either at the school nutrition office, at Sneaker Peek, or at when school actually starts. And I wanted to get this out so that you can help us spread the word, because we want those parents who actually do qualify, who think they qualify, to complete those meal applications, because students whose status is what it is right now, if it's free or if it's reduced, it will remain that until September 18th. After September 18th, if a new meal application has not been completed, then they'll go to paid until one is. And so we don't want anyone to incur those costs. So district-wide, I think it's like about 35%. But each school has a different number. Okay. All right, and then my last item is our one-stop shop. This is our 3rd annual event. It's coming up on July 19th at the Harris County Community Center from 9 to 11. We currently have 30 vendors who are registered, so we're excited about hosting this again for the Harris County School District family and the community at large, so that we can offer some of those health options. We can talk about school items, meal applications. We're going to give away school supplies. And we're going to have many people there that can assist families across the board. So if you can stop by, please do so. But if not, help us spread the word so that our Harris County community can be well taken care of when school starts on August 7th. Okay. All right, any questions? All righty, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you.
That will take us to item G4, that the Harris County Board of Education. Listen to a business services and technology update from Mr. Fisher. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. All right, so I'm just going to go through and give you some updates on our projects that we have going on this summer. The first one I'm going to talk about is the projects at the stadium, because we got multiple projects going on there. The first one is the turf. Our old turf was 12 years old and wouldn't meet the force test that they would have to perform this year. We have to renew that every 2 years. It probably would not have passed. So we needed to redo that. It would well exceeded its life expectancy of the turf. So we've done that. They finished up last week on Wednesday. We signed off on it Thursday, did the walkthrough with them. So the turf is done, and now they're getting stuff, equipment situated to move to the next phase of that project, and that's the track. They got started. We're supposed to get some stuff in this afternoon. I didn't make it out there to see if they got stuff in, but it's gonna be today and tomorrow. They're getting their equipment staged up to begin on that. That should take about 3 weeks or so to get done, and then they'll be done with that. Last week also, the other thing going on in the stadium is the scoreboard, replacing that because the other one just finally
Gave up the
decided,
ghost.
gave up on us after multiple repairs and all, and couldn't be fixed. So they started running all the power and fiber that need to be run from the press box and the power source they're going to run it from out by the water tower. Got that all bored and trenched and everything last week. They will be in town to start and disassembling the current scoreboard on July 7th and putting up the new one. When that's done, they anticipate it taking about a week to do all that work. And when they leave, it should be fully operational.
When will they sink? I know we have to put 3 new poles in and remove the 2 poles that are there, or maybe it's 3 that are there now. I can't remember. It's 2. When will they do that phase? Because that has to be set.
At the same time.
So they do it all at the same
They'll
time.
go ahead and set those poles first, take out the other ones while that's all setting up and all.
Okay.
And then they'll bring their stuff in, get it all situated, and then start mounting it once it's set the length of time it needs to set.
Okay.
For the concrete. Okay.
Before you move away from the football field, I had a question. Constituent gave me a phone call and asked me, I know we spend a lot of money on this artificial turf, why can't we just go back to grass? And I tried to explain, the field, the irrigation on that field, the way that it with our artificial turf is not set up with like French drains and things like that a grass field would have to. You'd have to bring dirt in to put the,
We'd have
crown
to
on
take
the-
out a lot of what's already in there as far as that drainage and substrate and everything to bring in dirt, set up, create and put in a whole new irrigation system, hook up to it. Maintain that, bring dirt on top of that to be able to have the substrate for that, get it graded right so it drain off. And it wouldn't be much cheaper than what we paid now, and you'd have the annual upkeep of fertilizer, cutting it, the fuel for cutting it, lining it, and all those things that go along, all water, all those.
lining the field. That field is game ready.
Uh,
As soon as you
Go
walk
out
out
there and
there.
play a game right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it rains, it doesn't get tore up.
Because when it
Grass
was
do.
years back, when it was grass, I know some of the coaches would have to get out there and line it and stuff. And
Mhm.
I actually refereed soccer on that field. A lot of people don't realize football field was terrible for soccer because you're standing at one end of the field. When you look across, all you can see is the top of the knees of the other person. You can't see the, because of the elevation.
So,
Right.
but and you think about our spring sports that they have both boys and girls soccer, they play back to back on it multiple times a week. The grass is not going to stand up to that kind of wear and tear.
And this field, correct me if I'm wrong, but this field is set up, of course, football, soccer, girls flag football.
Yes, sir.
Anything that we play on our football field or soccer field or,
It's high school and middle school.
yes,
Both use. it.
right.
And
And competition. I mean, it's lined for everything.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
And switching it, and just a guess, switching to grass would be ballpark of $350,000. The turf cost us, so just doing this turf right now, what we had cost a little over 400.
And if we were to put grass in there right now, it wouldn't be ready to play on.
No, I
And they
understand.
would have had a lot of work with the weather we've had this summer and all the rain. It would put them way behind on it.
And I understand that. I just understand that, they were saying that's a lot of money. And I said, I understand that's a lot of money and you're doing a new scoreboard. I said, yes, we are, but just like your car, they don't make parts for your cars anymore that are 10 years old or older. So, some of these things, they just get outdated and they don't make the equipment that it takes to run it anymore and you can't fix it. So you're forced to have to buy something new.
That's right.
And, okay, I'll let you go on. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that scoreboard original to when the school was built?
No,
Do you remember?
No.
it was done with the, I believe under the insurance when the
When the
tornado.
tornado
hit
hit.
2010.
Yeah, that was the second scoreboard because it was replaced, and the lights were replaced and the turf were all replaced at the time the tornado hit.
Mhm.
But prior to that, it was just a plain, simple digital scoreboard years back.
And because when we took that power supply all out, it had a date of 2010 on it. And so it was, I don't want to say outdated then, but it was older then. that model. So trying to get, and they just couldn't.
No, I don't think it was.
All right, anything else about the stadium? Questions? All right, moving on to the auditorium. That is went pleasantly fast. They were able to get the old chairs out in about a day and a half, 2 days. Then we were able to get in there and do the concrete work we needed to do and everything. Anticipate by the end of next week, it being all complete with maybe some little touch-up stuff. So they're putting in chairs right now, and then they've got to come back in and put the carpet on the floor. That's where they're at right now.
You're replacing the soundproofing carpeting, that's the sound barrier carpeting that goes on the walls as well.
Yes, sir.
I know that wasn't anticipated,
That
but when
was
they went to clean it,
unanticipated.
it
We were trying
came
to
home.
clean it. Yeah, intended on cleaning it, and then that first stroke, we pulled down and it pulled off with the vacuum. So.
Now,
then
the
it's
carpet
just-
we're replacing is just above the light ledge.
There's that.
It's
called
paint,
bump.
it's paint below the
All
light
that
ledge.
is place that. carpet.
That was the original carpet that was actually.
I'm sure.
Probably
We
dry
got in
line.
there and looked at it. And after they'd taken everything out, it looked bad. It really did. And so we're going to clean it. And there was glue that had come through just from sitting. And that's what was, it wasn't water, it was glue. So they had to use a different type of cleaner to get it off. And it just wasn't going to hold up.
Well, I agree with the decision that was made to go ahead and replace that as well, because that facility needed that.
And if
Upgrade.
we would have waited and done it later, it would going to cost us more because everyone had to maneuver around all those chairs.
Right.
Where this, with all the chairs out, we're able to get the lift in there and they could do it a lot faster. Yes, ma'am.
Did we, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and to let everybody know, when you sat in the auditorium, a lot of the light bulbs that had up top were out. And Mr. Fisher was just telling me that while all those chairs were up, they went in and upgraded all those bulbs and put all new bulbs in there, and it looks amazing.
That was gonna be my question. Okay,
Yes,
very
while
good.
everything was out, our Tim went in there and got all those lights replaced and everything. So now we have full lights.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but anticipate that finishing up next week, at the end of next week, maybe going into the week after, just on little touch-up stuff.
So we're all set and ready for opening day for sure, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Very
With
good.
time to spare. Give time for Miss Longshore to get in there and get her stuff set up that she needs to. All right, Creekside, the painting we did at Creekside is done and complete. They've moved on to Park. They're about 30–40% done with that right now. And remember, they had ESY at Park, so we couldn't really get into the whole building until that was finished up last week. So they've been going to town on it. They worked on the areas they could that weren't being used by that to go ahead and get a jump on that. And then this week, they've just been able to go wide open. So that'll be done here in the next week or so. With the 4th of July holiday, it kind of throws things off a little bit. And that talks about Park. And then next, we got our erosion repair over at the tennis courts. He was a little late getting started on that. He anticipated getting started after Memorial Day. But as we talked about earlier with the football stuff, the rain held him off because he's like, it does me no good to dig out stuff to get replaced by the water that's going to come through and just refill it. So he was able to get started on that. He's just down to waiting for a couple things to come in. And he's almost done with that. Anticipate probably next week or two, getting the sod laid, things like that. It's just all the real hard work's done. He's just trying to finish up and not make it nice and neat.
Very good.
All right, and then the last thing is we have gym floor being replaced at Mulberry Creek. That's been needed. It keeps on cracking everything and it's slowly peeling. They'll be doing that the week of the 14th, July 14th. It'll take them about a week to do that, so they'll be ready for first day of school as well.
Is that a similar floor to what is in the new middle school?
Yes, sir.
So it's not a
It's not
wood
a
floor.
floor, no.
Okay, so it's
It's
just, so they just peel it up and put down another one?
They'll strip it off and fix anything they need to fix underneath it and then lay the new one down.
Yeah.
Sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah, but we still have the same problem with that seam that
Well,
goes down through that
that's what they're
floor.
going to fix while they're in there. So it does,
Okay.
it allows them to expand and everything with that.
Well, I know that's been ongoing problems, and I know we've
Yes.
attempted to repair it, and it just seems to keep.
And then you get kids
Coming
in there.
back,
"Look
yeah.
here," and just-
I became principal at Mulberry Creek at 2010 and it needed replaced then. So-
So we found a company that gave us a really good price because everyone we kept on going to different places, it was double what we're having to pay for now. So. All right, next we got our transportation. The work we're doing this summer is the new software for our routing for our parent app and everything. We're getting that implemented, all the routes are getting put in. We anticipate having all the kids loaded up in there that we currently have. Beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday, probably more along the Tuesday lines when we get one of our people back to get us some information out of our old system, because she's the only one that has her admin rights and she's on vacation this week. So we'll be able to get that and then get it set up so it integrates with Infinite Campus and parents can start seeing that. We'll be sending out messaging to parents to start looking at that. Gives us a couple of weeks to correct any issues we may need if we've missed someone or what.
So the parents will be given access and they can go out there and set everything up.
Yes, sir.
Whatever they need to do, add their multiple kids on.
They
How
shouldn't
would
need to
they-
add kids. It'll just be connected to their email login that they'll create. And they'll have to be able to do it on their computer or through their mobile device.
Okay.
Okay. And then lastly, we got our safety things we've been working on this summer. Syntegics is going well. We finished up the install with that we had to do last week. It was a little bit slower than what we had to do. Person doing it had a family emergency they had to take care of. So, but it hasn't set us back any. We'll be getting with them. I have a meeting with them Thursday, just on our follow-up, our weekly call, and then we'll get an install date from them when they'll be on campus doing their part. Yes, sir. They'll get that during pre-planning. Yes, sir. Next, we got Evolve. I had the joy yesterday of when those got delivered to the different schools of unloading two of the pallets because they wouldn't fit through the door. They're about that much too tall. So unexpectedly, I got to play moving man. But we got that taken care of. They're on site at all the locations except one, and that's because they had just finished laying wax on the floors at that location, and we'll get that over there once the waxing is done.
What's the layout of the two at the high school?
Two at each location that we talked about, and then STC, EOC. We'll be implementing the high school stuff with the high school starting July 8th. They'll install July 7th. Now give us some time to work at the high school, look for processes that work best for them. So that on first day of school, it will run a lot smoother than a first day. Using something new. That's the things we're going to be working on. We have things in place, but we want to see how it works and it not be when we've got 1,600, 1,700 kids trying to come in. It'll be just with summer school kids. See, work through those processes, what worked, what didn't work, how can we make this better?
So this one. First day?
Yes, sir. That's what we're doing, summer school on the 8th, starting there. They'll install the 7th, do some training that afternoon with us, so we're ready to go that morning, the 8th. Yes, sir.
So you're gonna get
I'm sorry, I should have said July.
you're gonna get a trial run with the
Yes.
summer school kids and see
Right.
how that and adapt.
Exactly.
And I know that in talking with the reps that were at the GSBA conference, they said that they've got some best practices that other schools have done that they share with you guys
Right.
and pass that along.
And some things work at some locations that don't work for others, and just
Right.
things work. And that's what we're going to work through with summer school. We'll have information to work off of and not just blindly guessing.
So just to remind everyone, the Centegic system, which is the little system that has the little button on a badge that they'll wear on a lanyard, that is required by the state of Georgia. It wasn't funded by the state, of course, but it was mandated by a vote and I don't know, something set down. I don't know if it's an ordinance or however they went about doing it, but all the public schools in Georgia had to have this system. Am I correct?
They had to have a system like it.
A system like it, not
Not
specifically that
like-
company, but a system that is like an emergency alert
Response and alert.
system that
mapping.
everybody could activate on their own. Gotcha.
I think that was between our representatives and our senators who can come back and say that we initiated a more secure school systems, but dumped the price of it on us.
Of course.
The majority of the questions that I have gotten about the evolve system are dealing with, have you thought about how you're gonna handle all those kids and do all of that? And that's why I was asking.
And the nice thing about our system is you don't have to go one by one and stop or anything. It's just a free walkthrough. Like they've got it at Mercedes-Benz Stadium up in Atlanta, Georgia Aquarium, multiple other places, other schools have them. So we'll be able to, where we've got the heaviest amount of students coming in and out, we'll have a dual lane, so they'll be able to have double that volume to come through.
And
He gave it to me to put through there.
in my weekly update to you guys, this most recent one, I gave you links to 2 press releases. One of the press releases outlines these safety measures that are coming up that we're going to start communicating to parents. So it's not a surprise on the first day of school when they show up.
Yeah, I
So
noticed
those
that
communications will start after the holiday.
as I entered Piedmont the other morning, they have the Evolve system there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then lastly, Jonathan and his team, Jonathan set up a scheduled cybersecurity exercise to test our systems, the vulnerability to some kind of cybersecurity threat or whatnot, and they came through that, and the people who did it said we were really in a good position. We haven't got the final report and whatnot, but initially everything looks like we are in a good place. You know, we don't want to think about just physical security. We need to think about cybersecurity, protect students' information and financial information in the district and all that. So they did a good job with that as well. Good place with that.
So did we have the kids from the cybersecurity at the STC try to hack it?
We haven't tried that one yet.
I ought to do that. They might find a workaround.
This firm that they do this remotely and everything, they don't even tell you to do it. You just know it's going to happen at some time. You don't know when.
Oh, we know.
Test your processes and everything.
Yep.
And in response to that, so we don't have to go through that again. Just trying to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got today.
Well, before you leave, I just want to say thank you to you and your staff for getting all of this extra safety stuff. I know we voted to approve it, but you're the boots on the ground, you and your folks of getting it all set up and then making it work. And I can tell you, when I was at GSBA, I ran into the board chair from the Appalachia school system. And if that doesn't humble you, nothing will. And we were talking and he asked me what we were doing and I told him everything that we were implementing and he said, you can never have enough. Never have enough.
And there is no silver bullets.
Nope.
We got to go from.
There's not,
multiple
but
angles, really.
We can, the best we can do is set our system up for making it as secure and safe as we can and hope that, you know, that's a deterrent and that we never have to deal with the things that they've had to deal with, because that is not something that I want to endure at all. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And thank your
It wouldn't miss
staff.
me working with the principals on getting these things installed too is
And
they've been wonderful about it.
we understand there's going to be some growing pains with this. Some teachers are going to press the button the wrong way and it's going to alert, and we'll get through that and we'll work through the growing pains of when they have to walk through the system and, you know, fine tune all that, but we'll get it down and it will be just second nature after the first few weeks of school.
Appreciate y'all support and seeing the need for these things to help keep our students safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That will take us to item G5, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to a superintendent update from Dr. Finney.
Okay, just to mark your calendars, quarterly board meeting, Tuesday, July 22nd, 4 p.m. at the PLL. I should have a draft agenda out for you by the end of the week. Hopefully I can send you that link in the weekly update. Scholarship update on the scholarship money that we've been trying to transfer to the Chattahoochee Valley Foundation. I've talked to Keith Sweat at First Peoples and I've talked to the foundation, and they have worked it out with the scholarship signer to get that money moved.
Very
And
good.
so I confirmed that with Charles Sweat, so we should be in good shape with that.
I know we needed to keep control of it until this
Mhm.
year's
Yeah.
checks were all divvied out
Mhm.
and cashed and
Yep.
and everything. And now that all that's done, of course, you can move the money now.
Yep, and so now all of that money that they have raised through that scholarship, and they desire to have it at the foundation. We talked through it with Greg Ellington, and this was what he recommended, and they worked it out with the foundation and Charles Sweat at the First People's Bank, and I think we are done with this one. So. Okay, as you know, August is going to be millage rate public hearings coming up on I believe it is August 7th and August 14th. So more on that as we make those public meetings, publish them in the Harris County Journal. I have talked to Commissioner Grant and the new county manager. I met him the other day. And we talked about the tentative joint Board of Education and Board of Commissioners meeting being in September, since August is such a busy meeting or a busy month for all of us. We thought that September might be good. Our meetings are on September 4th and 11th. And so I proposed to them to look at the 16th or the 23rd for some type of joint meeting. Of course, it's our turn to host this time, so check those out and give me some feedback if you have any feedback on those two dates. And they are looking forward to this again. The PLL. Yep. Okay. In your packet here, you have two overnight field trips here. You've got one for the 15th and 16th of August, Harris County High School volleyball trip to Brookwood Volleyball Invitational in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And the other one is another Harris County High School volleyball trip September 15th and 16th to participate in the Gordon Lee Invitational in Ringgold, Georgia. I'm sorry. Did they change it? That slash looks like a 1. I'm sorry. It's the 5th and the 6th. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And last but not least, I hope you saw in my weekly updates that we are starting our Cognia accreditation, and that's going to be coming up this fall. We'll be going through that process. So there's a whole lot to do for the Cognia accreditation. Dr. Denny and I met with Jennifer Hernandez, who is our consultant, and she is real great to work with. I attached a link in the weekly update to our executive summary. And Jennifer does is everything we submit, she allows us to submit it ahead of time and get feedback and alter it and change it. And it's just a really user-friendly process. So we have a lot to do between now and November. November 18th is the deadline for us to submit all of the stuff for the accreditation review. They'll take 30 days to review it. Calendar is Thursday, December 18th. Thursday, December 18th. It's 2 days prior to us getting out for Christmas. That's when they're going to do our accreditation review. That morning at 9 o'clock, right here in the boardroom. There's a possibility that they will do some of that. To that, the process has changed a lot since we used to do the interviews and those kind of things. It's a lot of electronic upload of documents and narratives as far as what our processes and protocols are. And the big thing is really looking at what's going on in the classrooms as far as what the students are doing in the classrooms through their observation tool, which Jennifer has helped Dr. Denny chart out a really good plan that will help us accomplish what we need to do. Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Any other questions for Dr. Benny? All right, so that will take us to you, sir. Oh, yes, enjoy your vacation next week. That will take us to our action agenda and item H1. The Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached table proposed revision to board policy GARH, employee leaves and absences. We discussed this in our first meeting and our second meeting last month. This policy has to sit on the books until our meeting in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So, does anyone have any questions or any other concerns regarding that? So we will vote to approve that, amended policy, at our next meeting. And that will take us to item H2, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached table, proposed new policy ICC curriculum research. This one too has to sit, currently sitting. And we will vote on it in 2 weeks as well. Did anyone have any questions regarding that one before we move on? All right, and that will take us to item H.
Yes, that's a new policy that has come out due to the need of, we have a lot of people working on advanced degrees that need to do research projects for those advanced degrees, and we're getting a lot of requests to conduct those here at the school. So we want to make sure that we have a good process in place to safeguard students, staff, their personal identifiable information, all of that.
Any other questions? So that will take us to item H3, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached table proposed exhibit addition, artificial intelligence to board policy IFBG, internet acceptable use. This is another one that was an amendment made to our current policy, and that one is also sitting on the books and will be voted on at our meeting in 2 weeks. Did anyone have any questions regarding IFBGE? No, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Times a year, I mean, how many times are we required to update policies? Is it, I mean, these are living documents, we can update them anytime.
So we can update them anytime we choose. I think that I'll have to look and check on the good rule of thumb, but I think it's about every 10 years. Yeah, to redo all of your policies, update all of your policies.
Yeah, there was and Shane may remember too, prior back when I was chair, there was a time we had to update policies, and I think each board member, we separated it to where each board member took certain policies and looked at them and made recommendations to what we thought needed to be changed or updated. I don't remember that time frame though.
We've updated a lot of ours this last year. I'm going to discuss that in just a minute. Yep.
All right, so that will take us to item H4, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed Micah's Promise MOU. Dr. Fanning.
Yeah, so the Micah's Promise organization has requested a partnership with the Harris County School District, and this MOU, which we've had and been reviewing it for the last month or so. And you've seen it in its original form, but this is its amended form. And what the two things that have been amended in this MOU is in paragraph number 1. I had her switch the it was really originally written as a agreement between Micah's Promise and the superintendent, and I don't have that authority. So it now reads that it's Micah's Promise in partnership with the Harris County Systems Board of Education. The other one was, if you remember, they were requesting that we provide them with a full-time teacher and instructional support with a parapro. But as we've talked to them and worked with them and talked about their needs and what we can do through some very productive dialogue, given the number of students that will be starting and the cost involved there, we recommended that we provide, look into providing 49% teachers to begin with. And Micah's Promise is thrilled at the opportunity to do that. Ms. Baker is working with Mr. Croxton, our federal programs coordinator, and they think that we have a good chance of getting those salaries for the 49% teachers paid through Title I, which would be a really good good partnership for both organizations. If we approve this, we're also working on with some other school districts and places that they have this in place to get some job descriptions, and so Ms. Carlisle is working with them to get some job descriptions, so that if we approve this MOU, that we will be able to post and advertise for these two teachers. And so other than that, those were the two amendments to the MOU.
So Dr. Finney, is it my understanding that you are wanting to approve this tonight? Is that correct?
This MOU, no,
Yeah.
we can wait until the 17th.
Did you need it? We have a special called board meeting after this to approve employee recommendations.
I think Mike has promised, we'll greatly appreciate that, if you guys would like to do that.
Okay. Okay, so we will make that change before when we call the order, and then when we go to the approval of the agenda on that item, then we'll add it then. That's when we need to do that, not in this meeting.
Yep.
But yes, we can do that. If you think that
Yes.
needs to be done, we already have it.
Yes, I
The
think so.
avenue Set up.
I think so.
Well, I think it'd be beneficial to them too, because we wait until the 17th and us trying to get teachers and then get started the same day at school. That would kind of throw them behind the 8 ball with that too.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions regarding? Yes, ma'am.
I noticed in the MOU that it's including breakfast, lunch and snack. Is that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, so Ms. Baker's also, we've talked about that, but we're working on the logistics of,
Don't
Not-
play with elementary school.
no. Not only can they participate in our summer feeding program, which is coming to an end now, but we can provide the meals to them during the school year.
From one of our elementary schools.
Yes.
No, they don't have staff over this, we have meals transport, we call that Southland transportation. So, those schools that the areas for them, it sounds like they're meals over to them.
So one of our elementary schools will be providing that service to them.
Because of the proximity.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of our elementary
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe, it may be, but depends on the staffing.
Gotcha.
They have a kitchen over there, so they can't have, maybe living over there.
No, if we're gonna prepare the meals, then we have to prepare and we have to deliver, we have to serve.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay, so that will take us to item H5, that the Harris County Board of Education approve the request to submit a completed GSBA board recognition application for exemplary level prior to the due date of July 25th, 2025. Dr. Finney.
Okay, so this is what we have to do every year for the board to apply for the GSBA exemplary board award at the December GSBA conference. And so all we have to do is have this on an agenda showing that the board took action to decide to do that. And once you have done that, then Ms. Sawyer will take that and begin preparing everything to make that application. No, you can approve that on the 17th.
All right, so that will take us to item I, where members of the Harris County Board of Education share news and information they may have with the public and other members of the board. And this evening, I'm going to start with Ms. Oliver.
I just wanted to say that in the summer, the teachers go away, but you got in this room, kick it into high gear. And this is when, I mean, you work all year, but this time of the year is when you're just go, go, go. Thank you. It's a lot, and everybody is working so hard to make sure that first day is awesome. We see you. We are grateful. Thank you. And I did take my daughter to college last Saturday. She's doing well at Milledgeville. And so, pardon me? Oh, yes. But just wanted to let everybody know that I'm very grateful for all of the people that invested in her life. She is ready for college and doing great. So good job. She started classes and is doing great. So to everybody that had a hand in her education here, I'm very grateful.
Very good.
Thank you.
Hold on. Dr. Sparks is joining us virtually this evening. You haven't heard from her because we really haven't had to vote on anything, but Dr. Sparks, I wanted to give you an opportunity if you wanted to speak, if you had any public comments.
No, thank you. I don't have anything. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can we hear in the back?
I don't have anything.
Do we need to come back to her?
We had a technical issue here.
She's. All right, Dr. Sparks, we're gonna let them figure out things in the technical issues in the back. I will come back to you before we end the public participation, the news and information. Are you there now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Ashley says she said she has nothing.
Okay, so she has nothing. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. I see your thumbs up on the screen over here. So, Mr. Goodnow.
Well, I want to wish everybody happy 4th of July and everyone be safe and have a good time. I'd also like to thank Dr. Finney and this board for considering the MOU for Micah's Promise. It is something that has touched me very deeply. And I'm glad we've been able to help them out because, this is a very vulnerable group of girls. And I think it accomplishes both our mission and our vision statement on what we as a school system and a board is our duty and job to do.
Very good point. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, I just want to reiterate about all the hard work that happens over the summer. And I just want to wish the teachers a happy next 20 days or so. About 10 days before, they crank up and go at it again and do what they do.
Why you gotta bring them back to reality?
I had a teacher for a wife and 2 teachers for daughters, and I understand how I want them to enjoy that. And I do wish, I know all of the hard work that has to go on behind the scenes for opening day. And I'm just so appreciative of it.
Mr. Proctor.
How about my standard ditto?
Ditto. Okay,
And everybody have a happy 4th of July, everybody.
very good. Dr. Finney.
Our next meeting, as you know, is on July 17th, and we will have a meet and greet for the new district leaders that we are bringing on, and some that are already part of our Harris County team that are moving into leadership positions. But at 6 o'clock, we'll have a little reception for them like we do, and then during the opening part of the meeting, we'll introduce them to everybody. So we look forward to that. Another thing that we're looking forward to is on July 16th at our principals meeting is coinciding with the Gale presentation that Barrow County is doing at the Gale conference. And so we will be here in our PLL over here tuning in virtually. And the superintendent and his team are going to go through the Barrow County shooting incident from start to finish, what led up to it, what happened during it, and how they responded to it, and all of the things to consider. God forbid that a school district ever has to go through that. I kind of get the impression that everybody in the state is going to be tuned into that thing. And so we're going to have the district team. We're going to have our principals, our assistant principals. We're going to have assistant superintendents, SROs, and then we've invited law enforcement as well. So if any of you would like to join us as well, you're welcome to join us at the PLL. And 8 o'clock, breakfast will be at 7:30. Breakfast will be at 7:30. 8 o'clock, the presentation will start, and we'll be watching it. We'll be watching it online through a link that Gail has sent to us at 8 o'clock. Yes, it's going to be about 3 hours long. But I don't think they're going to have trouble holding our interest based on the critical subject matter that they're going to go through. And we're getting this information and we're getting this exposure to help prevent it happening to anybody else. We're getting it firsthand. It's gonna be enough room, and if not, we'll set up a second link. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the new auditorium might be good, thought, yeah. We'll count heads and the area will be to be determined, so. Okay, two press releases that are coming out is the new cell phone, policy in the handbook. Now, to answer your question, Mr. Proctor, on that, the cell phone doesn't have, the new cell phone regulations don't have to be in policy until the 26-27 school year. But we have it in our handbooks ready for, K-8 guidelines and also 9-12 guidelines. And so based on the, Distraction-Free Education Act that the legislature passed and the governor signed into law, we will be starting that this fall. And so I also included links to those press releases in your weekly update. And so you can read that to see exactly what we're going to start communicating to the public. Also, some of our safety and security measures that we are, I think, wisely undertaking that Mr. Fisher went into in depth. There's also going to be a press release coming out about that. It was also included in your weekly update. And so take a look at that, and that's how we're going to start communicating with the public on that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Very good. I just want to also to use Mr. Proctor's note, ditto, but the sentiments that everyone has expressed tonight, I agree with everything. I do want to thank all of our folks that have worked through summer school, our summer programs that we offer for some of our special needs kids, our summer feeding program. All of those folks are giving of their time. I know they're compensated for that, but that's time away from their summer break too, to do that. And I know they select to do that, but again, I want to thank everybody that's had anything going on in the school system as we've been, on our summer break. And as we all know, as Mr. Johnson reminded everybody, it won't be long, we'll be back in. So all the student athletes, the band members, the flag corps, everyone that's already on campus starting to get ready for the upcoming seasons, our softball team. I think our flag girls are getting ready too. So got a lot of people that are coming back on campus to get ready for stuff that starts when school starts back. So enjoy the rest of your summer break. It'll go by very quickly. Enjoy that time with your families, and we'll be gearing up next month.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Sure.
Do we have any time frame of what we may be able to receive our sports passes?
We will check on that.
I want to be able to see that new scoreboard.
Gotcha. You can drive by and see it. You don't have to go in.
No, I want to see it in action,
Okay.
up close.
All right. All right. So at this time, I will entertain a motion that we adjourn for the evening. Mr. Goodnose, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? This meeting stands adjourned, but don't go anywhere. All right. So at this time, I will call to order the special session of the Harris County Board of Education. And then at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve our agenda as written. Did you? Okay, so Mr. Goodnow would like to make an amendment to the agenda to change our action agenda where we only had one item, the personnel recommendations. We're now going to have item C2, which will be the Micah's Promise MOU. Is that correct? All right, so there's a motion on the table made by Mr. Goodnow to amend our agenda. Mr. Proctor, I assume you're seconding. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, so now that will take us to item B, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the July 1st, 2025 special session called board meeting agenda as presented. Mr. Johnson, second. Mr. Goodnow, any discussion? All in favor? All right. And that will take us to our action agenda and item C1, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the personnel recommendations made by the superintendent. Mr. Proctor, second. Ms. Oliver, any discussion? All in favor? And that will take us to item C2, that the Harris County Board of Education approve the Micah's Promise MOU. Mr. Goodnow, second. Ms. Oliver, any discussion? All in favor? All right, and at this time, I will make a motion that we adjourn the special called board meeting. Do I have a second? Mr. Proctor, beat you, Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor? We stand adjourned.